This is my vocabulary lesson on the book Moondance by Asch. And first, I'd like to introduce the book Moondance by Asch. And from looking at the front cover and thinking about the title, can any of you predict what this book may be about? Then I'll wait for student answers. Okay, so now when I read the book out loud to you boys and girls, I'd like you to pay close attention to the details and try to focus on if you hear any words that you maybe are unfamiliar with, you haven't heard before, or you're a little unclear about. So yes, here we go. One night, Little Bear and Bird were sitting outside looking at the moon. "You know what I wish?" said Bear. "I wish I could dance with the moon." "Maybe she'd like to dance with you too," chirped Little Bird. "Silly bird," chuckled Bear. "The moon is so special. She wouldn't want to dance with me." Just then, a cloud drifted in front of the moon. "What about the clouds?" asked Little Bird. "Would they dance with you?" Maybe," said Bear. "Well, why don't you ask them?" suggested Little Bird. "Okay," said Bear, and he called to the clouds. "Clouds, would you please come down and dance with me?" But the clouds stayed up in the sky. "You see," said Bear, "even the clouds won't come down to dance with me." Bear and Little Bird watched the sky until bedtime. Then they said goodnight and went to sleep. In the morning, Bear looked out his window and saw fog. He had never seen fog before. "Oh my," he cried, "the clouds came down to dance with me." Bear was so excited, he ran outside and began to dance with the clouds. He danced and he danced and he danced. As the day grew warmer, the fog began to lift. When the fog was all gone, Bear felt sad. "Do you think I could have stepped on their toes or something?" asked Little Bird. "Silly Bear," replied Little Bird. "The clouds probably had some work to do high up in the sky, that's all." "What kind of work does a cloud do?" asked Bear. "Clouds make rain," said Little Bird. Suddenly, Bear had an idea. "Clouds," he called to the sky, "could you make some rain for me to dance with?" Bear heard no answer, not even a rumble of thunder. "Oh well," he sighed, "I have my own work to do." Bear forgot about the clouds. He went inside and picked up his toys. He washed the dishes and polished all the silverware. When Bear was finished, he looked out his window and saw raindrops falling from the sky. "Oh, goody!" cried Bear, and he ran outside and began to dance with the rain. He danced and he danced and he danced. After a while, the rain stopped. This time, Bear was not sad. The rain got hungry and went home to eat supper, that's all. Bear was hungry too. After eating his supper, Bear went outside and waited for the moon to rise. For a long time, Bear gazed at the moon. "She's so special, and I'm just an ordinary bear," he thought, and then Bear remembered how special it made him feel to dance with the clouds and the rain. "Oh, moon," he called to the sky, "will you please come down and dance with me?" The moon made no reply, but when Bear looked down, he saw the moon's reflection in a puddle. "Look, Little Bird," he cried, "the moon came down to dance with me." Bear was so happy, he jumped into the puddle and began to dance with the moon. He danced and he danced and he danced. The end. Okay. As I was reading the story, there were about 3 words that I found a little confusing or a bit hard to understand. The first word is suggested, or suggest if you take off the ed ending. go back to where this appears in the book. On this page, Bear was wondering if the clouds would come down and dance with him. It says, "Why don't you ask them?" suggested Little Bird. In the story, it says that Little Bird suggests to Bear that he should ask the clouds to dance. Suggest means to give advice on what to do. Let's say the word together. Suggest. People can suggest many different ways of handling a situation. For example, if you are sitting at your desk and you finish your work early, I can suggest that you read a book instead. Talk in turn with a partner about a time when you suggested something to a friend, or maybe a time when a friend suggested something to you. Let's say the word one more time together. Suggest. About halfway through the book, I came across another challenging word. This word was suddenly. Let's go back to find it. It says, suddenly, Bear had an idea. Suddenly means to happen quickly or without notice. Let's say the word together. Suddenly. Bear's idea came to him suddenly because it came to him very quickly and almost out of nowhere. It's like he wasn't expecting it at first, and then he was like, "Ah, I have an idea." I'm going to list some events below, and if they happen suddenly, say suddenly after, and if not, put your finger to your lips. Ready? The growth of a flower. An explosion. Suddenly. Slamming on your bike's brakes. Suddenly. Hair growing. Flash of lightning. Suddenly. Very good, boys and girls. The last word I wanted to point out is ordinary. Let's go back and find this one in the book. It says right here, "She is so special, and I'm just an ordinary bear." Ordinary means not special, something that is regular or plain. Sometimes people even say boring. Let's say the word together. Ordinary. One example of an ordinary event could be participating in morning meeting. This is something that we do every single day, so it's a regular task of ours. I'm going to give you a few more examples, and you tell me which one you think is ordinary. Having an ice cream party in class, or having a math lesson in class? Math lesson. Eating lunch in a cafeteria, or eating lunch in a tree? Cafeteria. Wearing pajamas to school, or wearing your normal clothes to school? Your normal clothes. And the last one, coloring in your coloring book, or coloring on the walls? Coloring in your coloring book is definitely ordinary. Very good. Now, let's think about all three words that we just talked about. So we had suggest, suddenly, and ordinary. I need some volunteers to answer the following questions, and you're going to have to pay very close attention to what these words mean and what sentences they come in to see if they make sense or not. Is it an ordinary school day? If it is an ordinary school day, what would you be doing after we get back from lunch? So that means an ordinary school day, something that we do all the time. So what do we usually do when we get back from lunch? Yes. Very good. Okay. If you saw the cafeteria worker drop all of the food on the floor, what would you suggest him or her to do? Okay. If I saw a spider crawling on my face, would I react suddenly or ordinary? Suddenly. Very good. Okay. So that pretty much concludes day one. We have 3 activities for that day and the following day as well. So the first activity is sentence completion, where students will use the vocab words to fill in the sentences below. So a few examples of this would be, Max was tired, so his mother blank that he took a nap. So which word would fit in? Would it be suggested that he take a nap, ordinary that he take a nap, or suddenly that he take a nap? Number 2. Compared to Leanne's glittery hat, Janine's plain black one is blank. And the third one, blank, the clouds moved in front of the sun and the sky became dark quickly and out of nowhere. That one would be suddenly. And number 2 was ordinary, since a plain black one is ordinary compared to something that's sparkly and glittery. Then we have another same format activity where students will use their knowledge to answer the questions below and their knowledge of the vocab words that we just went over. So if the rain started suddenly, did it start quickly or did it start slowly? And why? And the important part is that you explain your reasoning as to why, because that will make us know if you really understand the word and the context that it's used in. If someone suggests to you to read a book, are they telling you that you should read the book or that you shouldn't read the book? Why? Is walking around on our hands ordinary, or is walking around on our feet ordinary? Why? The last game that we have is called the Have You Ever game. So students will answer the question, have you ever, by putting a thumbs up for yes and a thumbs down for no. These sentences include the vocab words, so in order to understand what the question is asking and whether they've done it before or not, the students must actually have an understanding of the word. So the first question is, have you ever suddenly been woken up? Have you ever suggested for someone to walk their dog in the rain? Have you ever been told that you were ordinary, or were you told that you were special? Have you ever heard a suggestion from someone and took their advice? Have you ever suddenly got really happy or really sad? And have you ever had a plain and ordinary day? Our concluding activity for assessment, we decided to incorporate all of the vocab words and ask the students to create a story in which all 3 are used in the correct way and a story that actually makes sense. So they have to utilize all 3 words in their story, and we will model this assessment by first creating our own short story and presenting it to the class. The story that we made as our model is the following. One day, Sam was sitting in her bedroom and thinking about how bored she was. Her mom popped her head into her room and asked Sam, "Why do you look so sad?" Sam said, "Today is just an ordinary day. Nothing special has happened yet." Sam's mom suggests that Sam should call a friend and go to the park. Suddenly, Sam jumps up with joy and runs over to the phone to call her friend. Sam and her friend spend the rest of the day in the park and have a great time together. Therefore, when students create the story using all 3 words, they will have to actually have an understanding of all 3 words, how to use them in different contexts, and how to relate them with one another. So, thank you for watching my vocab lesson.